Hello traders, good day to you all. This is Christopher Glen. Today it is the 5th of August 2014. This is a daily market review for the current market status. Let's go to today's announcement. So we can see that we had an announcement regarding the pound earlier, delivering a good indication for the pound. We saw the pound gaining strength, especially in front of the euro downtrend movement over there, and the pound versus Japanese yen for an uptrend. Not an enormous amount of movement. Still, liquidity is waiting for this announcement, the ISM non-manufacturing PMI in the United States, that will deliver at 3 p.m. GMT time. Later on, we've got several announcements regarding the New Zealand. The New Zealand made a lot of waves last time that we had the unemployment change and the unemployment rate in New Zealand. As you can see, the unemployment change is really the indication itself is not as different as the previous announcement. Let's look at the general aspect. So we can see that usually the actual figure over here is delivering better probability of reducing strength toward stronger New Zealand in the market, and not the other way around. Let's look at the unemployment rate. So we can see that the expectation isn't that far from the previous announcement, 6% to 5.8%. That is the forecast. You can see that the unemployment rate was moving between 6.4 at the top and until 5.8, lower than that. We can't see lower unemployment rate over there, and because several indications that we had along last month, I do expect to see approximately the equivalent amount of unemployment rate over here. So we are not expecting to see a lot of difference, but again, the New Zealand may deliver different aspect, and we can expect to see liquidity driven into the market out of the combination between the announcement, the unemployment change, and the unemployment rate. Tomorrow, generally looking at tomorrow, Wednesday, we've got the announcement regarding the pound, and after that, the Canadian dollar and the US dollar will deliver the trade balance in each and every state. Again, it's a very important indication, but not only that, the combination between both of them at the same time, it's just a very good indication, a very good probability of producing profitable trade between the two currencies. I will analyze the dollar versus the Canadian dollar to try to make an assessment regarding tomorrow's appearance, but I do want to talk about the dollar index regarding this specific announcement. Let's go to the chart and see what is the expectation. So we've talked about the dollar index several times. I said that I'm expecting the dollar to drop down over here. This may still be the ABC corrective pattern, and we can still see a downtrend movement, which is very logical from this area and beyond. So the expectation is, as it was yesterday, I talked about it during the daily market analysis yesterday for the 4th of August. I've been talking about a potential for downtrend movement over here, and I said that I'm expecting the announcement to deliver the liquidity for this structure. I said that we've got two situations that we may see. The first one will be whether we will receive this downtrend as an A wave, a B wave, and we will receive the C wave before the announcement, and then the expectation is to see an uptrend, or that we will see this downtrend, the uptrend, and then the announcement itself will deliver the downtrend. So at the moment, the expectation is to see a weaker dollar in the market, downtrend on the dollar index before we will continue higher. That is the expectation for the next several days in the market, but at the moment I see a potential for downtrend movement on behalf of the dollar in the market. Because of this assessment, that the dollar should lose strength in the market, I'll try to express that in front of the pound, which is the strongest currency in the market at the moment. And we can say that the dollar is amongst strong currencies again, but we're waiting for this aspect to change. Also, the New Zealand is among the strongest currencies as well. So definitely good potential to express the dollar in front of the pound and the New Zealand. Generally, we can say that the pound, the New Zealand, and the Australian dollar maybe are the strongest currencies at the moment. The Japanese yen is approximately in the middle. The weakest currency that we can find is the Swiss franc, and after that the euro and the Canadian dollar are weak as well. So we've got very nice difference between strong currencies and weak currencies, but again, it's not based on genuine information. We saw that since the beginning of this week we haven't received a lot of liquidity to the market, therefore we can't make an assessment regarding this specific image. We will need to wait and see what will be the indication that will come up from the dollar announcement. Again, the dollar versus Japanese yen is showing a good opportunity for downtrend movement. Again, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. Potential for downtrend movement over this chart, no question about it as well. Let's go and see the dollar in front of the South African rand, the Turkish, and the Russian ruble. So we see that the uptrend movement that I've been talking about for several weeks is still moving higher and higher. No question about it. We've reached a completion over here of the fifth wave, and there's a potential for downtrend movement or a completion of a corrective pattern, and again still a potential for a downtrend movement, not an uptrend movement, showing another indication for the potential to see weakness on behalf of the dollar for this announcement that we're waiting. Let's see the dollar versus South African rand. Long-term investment, I do expect this chart to climb higher. At the moment, there is a potential still to see a fluctuation level over here. Again, an impulse movement climbed higher. At the moment, we're forming a corrective pattern over here, and that might still drop down lower as an indication for a weaker dollar in the market before we'll continue higher. Still, I see the dollar gaining strength later on this week, but for the day, I do expect the dollar to express weakness. Looking at the silver and the gold, again, we can see that we had nice downtrend movement expressing the strength of last week's dollar, and then when we entered to Friday's announcement, the non-farm payroll, we received this weakness on behalf of the dollar, strength on behalf of the gold, pullback, and another uptrend movement is expected to complete the corrective pattern, and then a downtrend movement on the gold. Precious metals expressing strong dollar in the market. As I said, the expectation is to see this downtrend movement on the gold and silver later on, maybe tomorrow, the day after that, maybe on Thursday. The unemployment claims in Thursday at 1:30, if I'm not mistaken, that might deliver the strength of the dollar that I'm expecting to see over here. Remember that because of the weakness that we've witnessed this Friday on behalf of the unemployment rate in the United States and the non-farm payroll indication, this weakness is still moving the markets. An additional weakness on behalf of the indication that we will receive today will add to this aspect, but not as effective as the announcement on Thursday or Friday. So let's see what we'll receive later on this week. Again, today I do expect the dollar to lose strength in the market. Let's see if we've got something interesting on behalf of other assets. Good potential for an uptrend on Australian dollar, Japanese yen, but not a long-term investment. Let's look at the daily charts on a variety of assets. Okay, Euro versus the US dollar still in a potential to bounce backward and forward before a definition of a specific direction. No specific direction at the moment. Euro versus Australian dollar in a nice potential for downtrend movement over here. The euro versus the pound already began dropping down. As I said, the announcement that we received today, gaining strength on behalf of the pound, delivered this downtrend movement. We see a nice pullback between the moving average, exponential moving average, indicating that there's a good potential for divergence around this area, and it's just the downtrend movement is adding to this confidence. Over here we can see that the pound versus the US dollar reached an exhaustion level. In terms of structure, I'm still looking for an additional information so that I'll be able to make an assessment regarding this chart. I lost some money waiting for this chart to pull higher. At the moment I'm out from this specific asset, giving it a bit more time to make a decision regarding the directional movement. At the moment it's just fluctuating, a bit weaker, a bit stronger. Can't see solid expression on this chart yet. the DAX began moving down in an impulse movement. Obviously, that's a corrective pattern, but that's just the A wave. We do expect to see more weakness on behalf of the DAX, and so does the CAC in this case. A bit more weakness on behalf of both assets, the European market assets, the French market, and the German market. Dow Jones, again, this pullback is the expression of Friday's reaction to the non-farm payroll. We can see this movement reached a block over here, and we will need to wait and see. Again, to make another assessment regarding this chart, we will need to wait and see. A break of 16.4, 16.35 will continue lower. From here, I'd like to wish you all the best with your trades. Have a pleasant day, and bye-bye.